Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today it's going to be another World Cup prediction video. This time I've decided to do a different format. I've seen that there is a proper bracket on the newspaper The Telegraph that you can use to predict everything, so I've decided to use that instead because the last time the PowerPoint I used was alright, but it just came out a bit confusing. And this thing allows me to predict the whole thing. So as you can see, you've got all the groups and you've got also all the knockout rounds and everything. So we're going to be predicting the full tournament. I've also got a script in front of me because I thought it would be better to have like proper notes on all the teams, because I think I've realised that like my videos are quite unscripted at times and I can stumble over my words. So I'm hoping that I'm actually going to be a bit better and a bit clear today. So I think we'll kick off, just go straight into the group. So we'll start off with Group A, which is Mexico. So I have wrote notes on every team. I'm going to read them out just because I think it gives me a bit of accurate what the teams you have to offer and what we can expect, and it'll help me predict it. I also haven't looked at the predictions I made in the last video, so it's entirely changed whether if new injuries have happened or if anything's changed. So stuff like that. So Group A, you've got Mexico. They qualified as hosts. They're ranked 15th in the world, and their key players include Raul Jimenez of Fulham, Guillermo Ochoa of AEL Limassol, which is in Cyprus, and Edson Alvarez of Fenerbahce. So I've got it down as how they qualified, what ranking they are in the FIFA rankings, and the key players. So that's Mexico. You've got South Korea, who are qualified as third round Group B winners in the AFC. I don't actually know how it works in other confederations like Asian Football Confederation, but that's what they did. They're ranked 25th in the world, and their key players are Heung-min Son of Los Angeles FC, Hee Chang Hwang of Wolverhampton Wanderers, and Kim Min-jae of Bayern Munich. You've got South Africa, who qualified as group winners of Group C in Central African Confederation of African Football. They are ranked 60th in the world, and their key players include Lyle Foster of Burnley and Ronwen Williams of Mamelodi Sundowns. I believe that's a goalkeeper. And last up is Czechia, or Czech Republic. They qualified through the UEFA playoffs, beating Denmark in the final. They are ranked 41st in the world, and their key players include Thomas Soucek of West Ham, Ladislav Krejci of Wolverhampton Wanderers, and Patrick Schick of Bayer Leverkusen. So I'm just going to look at each group individually. So starting off from that group, to be honest, I think it's between these three: Czech Republic, Korea, and Mexico. South Africa don't have any notable players apart from Lyle Foster of Burnley, but even he's a bit average, to be honest. Out of the three, it's quite tight. Obviously, Czech Republic have a slight disadvantage in that they've only just qualified through the playoffs. So for me, it's between these two. Normally, I would pick Korea, but since Mexico have the home advantage, I'm going to give it to Mexico first place, Korea second, and then Czech Republic third. South Africa, unfortunately, grouped. Also, this time I can actually decide more accurately who the third place teams are that go through. So I will be doing that after that. So Czech Republic is the first of first third place team that I've predicted. Next up is Group B, where we have Canada, Switzerland, Qatar, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Bosnia obviously beat Italy in the final, as I'll mention again. But so you've got Canada, who qualified as hosts again, ranked 30th in the world, and their most notable players are Alphonso Davies of Bayern Munich and Jonathan David of Juventus. You've got Qatar, who qualified as AFC fourth round group winners. This is the first World Cup they've actually qualified through qualification rather than qualifying as hosts. They're ranked 55th in the world. And the key players I could find, because I researched all of these, so key players include Akram Afif of Al Said and Almoez Ali of Al Dahail, and he was the top scorer in AFC qualification. You've got Switzerland, who are qualified as winners of UEFA Group B. They are ranked 19th in the world, and the key players include Granit Xhaka of Sunderland, Noah Okafor of Leeds United, and they also have two world-class goalkeeping options in Gregor Kobel of Borussia Dortmund and Jan Sommer of Inter Milan. And lastly, and I mentioned already, Bosnia and Herzegovina qualified as UEFA playoff winners, beating Italy in the final on penalties, denying them the chance that they miss out on a third World Cup, which is atrocious. I think I predicted Italy to qualify, but obviously that's not happened. Their key players include the 40-year-old Edin Dzeko, as well as Eremedin Demirovic of VfB Stuttgart, and the ex-Arsenal centre-back Sead Kolasinac, who now plays for Atalanta. I didn't mention what club Edin Dzeko plays for, but I believe it is Fenerbahce, but I may be wrong. He may have moved. So from those four, it's another tight one. I think. Well, actually, no. You know what? I think the obvious option is Switzerland go first because I think Switzerland have a very good team. I don't think Qatar is getting through. I think Qatar is going to come fourth, to be honest. So between Canada and Bosnia, I'll give the edge to Canada again because they are on the home turf. Bosnia third and Qatar automatically fourth. Next up, my home countries group, Scotland, as well as Morocco, Brazil and Haiti. It's classed as a strong group, as you can see. So you've got Brazil, the record 5-time winners, qualified as 5th place in CONMEBOL, which is South American qualification. They are ranked 6th in the world, and their key players include Rafinha of Barcelona, Vinicius Junior of Real Madrid, and Marquinhos of PSG. They have many other stars such as Alisson Becker in goal of Liverpool, Casemiro of Manchester United, and Endrick on loan from Lyon from Real Madrid, who's rediscovered some form. They're missing Rodrigo through an ACL injury as a notable miss. Then you have Morocco, the first African side to ever make it to semi-finals of a World Cup qualified as winners of Group E in CAF qualification. They are ranked 8th in the world after their controversial, not entirely confirmed victory of the Africa Cup of Nations, and their key players include Akram Afif of PSG, Abde Ezzazzouli of Real Betis, and Brahim Diaz of Real Madrid, who was obviously the one who missed that horrific Panenka penalty in the final of AFCON. Then you have my country, Scotland, qualified as winners of Group C to return to the World Cup for the first time in 28 years. They are ranked 43rd in the world, and their key players include Andrew Robertson of Liverpool, although he will be a free agent by the start of the tournament, Scott McTominay of Napoli, and John McGinn of Aston Villa. They also have a few other world-class players. I'm joking. And then lastly, you have Haiti, qualified as third round winners in third round Group C winners in CONCACAF. I believe they also are. It's the first time since 1974. So that's 52 years or something. They've come back. They are ranked 83rd in the world, and their key players include Jean Riechner Bellegarde of Wolves and Wilson Isidore of Sunderland, who both have recently changed nationalities from France to represent Haiti. So I think it's a no-brainer as to who goes through in first is Brazil. I think they have one of the strongest teams on paper. Obviously, they're not at home turf, but they're in like America, and the climate probably suits them, and they have a really good, strong team, as you've obviously mentioned, Rafinha and Vinicius Junior, and they have loads of leaders, and they've got one of the best managers in football, Carlo Ancelotti. Second, I obviously want to put Scotland in second, but I'm going to have to give Morocco the edge because they are the best African team in the world by ranking, and obviously for good reason. They've got Hakimi, who's obviously probably the best right back in the world, and they've got plenty of other talismanic players, and I mean, they seem to have won AFCON, but not been confirmed. Scotland, I'm hoping that can get through as a top third place team if they can beat Haiti, and I don't know, if they get lucky and nab something off Morocco or even Brazil, that would be good, but I don't know. I'm optimistic going into it. I have hope, but it's going to be really tough because that group's quite unlucky. Next up is Group D, which is the third of the three host nations groups. So we've got the USA qualified as hosts. They are ranked 16th in the world. Key players include Christian Pulisic, aka the LeBron James of football, not soccer, of AC Milan, Brendan Aronson of Leeds United, and Folarin Balogun of AS Monaco. Then you've got Paraguay, who qualified as 6th place in CONMEBOL qualification. They are ranked 40th in the world, and their key players include Miguel Almiron of Atlanta United, and Diego Gomez of Brighton, and Julio Enciso of RC Strasbourg. You've got Australia, qualified as third round Group C runners-up in AFC. They are ranked 27th in the world, and their key players include Matthew Ryan of Levante, Matthew Leckie of Melbourne City, and Jackson Irvine of FC St. Pauli. And lastly, you have Turkey, who qualified through UEFA playoffs, beating Kosovo in the final 1-0. They are ranked 22nd in the world, and their key players include Arda Güler of Real Madrid, Kenan Yildiz of Juventus, and Hakan Çalhanoğlu of Inter Milan. So from that group, obviously it's this weak, but I think that's quite an evenly matched group. Like these three groups are very evenly matched. That one's got some standout teams. From this group, I think I'd put Turkey first, America second, and then between Paraguay and Australia, I think I'd give it to Paraguay. I think Paraguay. I don't really know between these two. Australia's got a couple of decent players. If I look at actually the group, so the players, who did I say? So actually looking at it again, I think not Brighton, Paraguay has more experience than Australia in like Premier League and big league football. Next up is Group E, where we have Germany, who qualified as winners of UEFA Group A. They are ranked 10th in the world. Key players include Florian Wirtz of Liverpool, Jamal Musiala of Bayern Munich, and Nick Voltemade of Newcastle United, plus many more leaders such as Joshua Kimmich of Bayern Munich, who captains the side, and others like Antonio Rudiger, who command the side strongly. Then we have Ecuador, who qualified as runners-up in CONMEBOL qualification. They are ranked 23rd in the world. Key players include Moises Caicedo of Chelsea, Willian Pacho of PSV, and Pervis Estupiñán of AC Milan. Then we have Ivory Coast, qualified as winners of Group F in CAF qualification. They are ranked 34th in the world, and their recent achievements include winning the 2023 edition of AFCON. Their key players include Simon Adingra of Sunderland, Yandy Umande of RB Leipzig, and their captain Franck Kessié of Al Ahly, and also Amad Diallo of Manchester United. And lastly, we have Curacao, who qualified as winners of Group B in CONCACAF qualification, making them the smallest country to ever qualify for a World Cup by land size and by population. I think they've only got 156,000 people in the country. They are ranked 82nd in the world, and their most notable player is Tahith Chong, who currently plays for Sheffield United in the English Second Division, and I believe he came through the academy at Manchester United. So, from that group, again, standout country is Germany. I think Germany go first. They've got a lot of experience. They've won a couple of tournaments, and naturally the obvious option. And then I think between these two for a second. I think Curaçao's, in the nicest way possible, it's probably a free win. I hope Curaçao do well. I always like an underdog story. Like I'd want like Haiti to do well, but it's just going to be really tough for that Curaçao. I think from these two, given the experience, given the climate, and given the country it's in, which is obviously America. I know it's not South America. I'm going to give it to Ecuador, followed by Cote d'Ivoire, and then Curacao. Or am I doubting that? I'm not sure. It's going to be really tight. I don't want to look at the players. I'm going to give it to Ecuador just in the edge, but I think Ivory Coast will probably be a third place team. Moving on to Group F, we have the Netherlands, Japan, Tunisia, and Sweden. So the background information I've got. So you've got the Netherlands qualified as winners of UEFA Group G and ranked 7th in the world. Key players include their captain Virgil van Dijk of Liverpool, also the captain of Liverpool, Denzel Dumfries of Inter Milan, Memphis Depay of Corinthians, Mickey van de Ven of Spurs, who's still important despite playing for a struggling club, and Ryan Gravenberch of Liverpool. I had literally was typing up my notes yesterday, and I had it in Xavi Simons and Mickey van de Ven of Spurs, and then Spurs played Wolves, and it's now Xavi Simons has been confirmed to be out of the tournament as he's ruptured his ACL against Wolves. So obviously that's really heartbreaking for him, and I send my best to him. Then you've got Japan, who qualified as second round Group B winners in AFC. They are ranked 18th in the world, and their key players include Karuru Mitoma of Brighton, Daisen Maeda of Celtic, Ao Tanaka of Leeds United, and Hiroki Ito from Bayern Munich. You have Tunisia, qualified as winners of Group H in CAF qualification. They are ranked 44th in the world, and their key players include Hannibal Mejbri of Burnley, and I might butcher this one, Elias Skihiri of Eintracht Frankfurt. And lastly, Sweden qualified as UEFA playoff winners, beating Poland in the final with a late Victor Gyökeres winner. They are ranked 38th in the world. Their key players include the previously mentioned Victor Gyökeres of Arsenal, as well as Alexander Isak of Liverpool, who's now back from injury and scored his first goal in 2026 against Crystal Palace at the weekend, Anthony Elanga of Newcastle United, and Emil Forsberg of New York Red Bulls. So from that group, it's quite tight. I know Sweden didn't qualify automatically, but I think they've got a good team on paper. I do remember, I didn't look at it, but I do remember having Japan finish above the Netherlands in my previous prediction, and Japan are a strong side in their group. Last time they had Germany and Spain in the last World Cup, and I can't remember, but they either topped it or came second. But I remember them making it difficult for Spain, and I do remember them beating Germany. They might have beat Spain as well, but I can't remember. And I'm going to stick by it. Japan, Netherlands, Sweden, and Tunisia drop out. Sweden, I'm just going to have to drop them down a bit because of that, how they qualify through the playoffs. And they can, obviously, on their day, they're a fantastic team, and they've got a very good squad. But the playoffs has knocked them a bit. So, yeah, but Japan, I think, always are dark horses. and could be considered a big nation now in football. Next up, we have Group G. We've still got 6 groups to protect. So, Group G, you've got Belgium, Iran, Egypt, and New Zealand. So you've got Belgium, qualified as winners of UEFA Group J, ranked 9th in the world. Their key players include Kevin De Bruyne of Napoli, Thibaut Courtois of Real Madrid, and Romelu Lukaku of Napoli. You've got Egypt, who qualified as winners of Group A in CAF qualification. They are ranked 29th in the world. Their most notable players are, of course, Mohamed Salah of Liverpool, who's the 4th highest scoring player ever in the Premier League with 193 goals. And they also have Omar Marmoush of Man City, who, despite not getting much game time, is a very good player on his day. And you have Iran, qualified as winners of 3rd round Group A in AFC. They're ranked 21st in the world. Their key players include Mehdi Taremi of Olympiacos and Ali Reza Jahanbach, who used to play for Brighton but now plays for Dender EH in Belgium. Yeah, and lastly, you have New Zealand, qualified as 3rd round winners in the OFC, the only Oceanian team to qualify for the tournament, ranked 85th in the world, and their most notable player is Chris Wood of Nottingham Forest, who's just made a return from injury. I might be wrong, but I'm possibly pretty sure New Zealand might be the lowest ranked country in the whole tournament as well, which surprises me considering the number of teams playing their first World Cup or even their second in a long time. So from that group, I remember again I had Egypt above Belgium, and I'm going to stick by that again because Egypt, I think, are motivated and want to do well, and Belgium have wasted their golden generation as well, and I think I said that in the last video too. But they had like Eden Hazard, Van Vertonghen and stuff like that, and then they had like Kevin De Bruyne and stuff in their prime, and they've all, they're either retired or they've gone and they're old. So Belgium come second, Egypt first. I just think that Egypt might get like a point off Belgium and then beat Iran and New Zealand. I don't know how Belgium will go against the other two, but it could be that, I think, to be honest, it might just be that Egypt beat them on goal difference or something. And from Iran and New Zealand, I'm going to give it to Iran just. I mean, to be honest, I know this is controversial, but they might not even be in the tournament by the time the thing kicks off. I mean, it's not fully been confirmed if they're actually going to go to the tournament or not. Because, I mean, there was rumours recently, I think, that Italy might take their place, but I think it's been denied and that they just want to qualify legitimately. But yeah, New Zealand, I don't think are they are strong enough. Like, Chris Wood's the only half-decent player, and he's only just come back from injury. So, and he's 34. Next up, we have Group H, which has Spain, Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, and Cape Verde, who were the smallest country, I think, until Curacao qualified. So, Spain qualified as winners of UEFA Group E. They are ranked 2nd in the world. Their biggest achievement in recent history is winning the 2024 edition of the European Championship. Key players include young superstars like Lamine Yamal of Barcelona, Nico Williams Jr. of Athletic Bilbao, Pedri of Barcelona, and Pau Cubarsí also of Barcelona. And they also have many experienced players like Unai Simon of Athletic Bilbao, Ferran Torres of Barcelona, Dani Carvajal of Real Madrid, and the 2024 Ballon d'Or winner Rodri of Manchester City. We have Uruguay, qualified as 4th place in CONMEBOL qualification, ranked 17th in the world. Key players include Federico Valverde of Real Madrid, Ronald Araujo of Barcelona, Manuel Ugarte of Manchester United, and Darwin Núñez of Al Hilal. You have Saudi Arabia, qualified as winners of 4th round Group B in AFC qualification, ranked 61st in the world. Key players include Saud Abdullahi. Saud Abdulhamid of Lens on loan from Roma, and Salem Al-Dassari of Al Hilal. And I'm sorry for that pronunciation. And lastly, you have Cape Verde, qualified as winners of Group D in Central African of CAF qualification, ranked 69th in the world. Their key players include Steven Moreira of Columbus Crew, Gary Rodriguez of Apollo Limassol in Cyprus, and their captain Ryan Mendes of Igdir, I don't know how to pronounce that, in the 2nd division of Turkish football. Naturally, Spain go right to the top of that group. Spain, obviously they were the first best team in the country until, I think, of the world until France have taken over now. But they're a strong side. Then Uruguay, I think, will go ahead. 3rd Saudi Arabia, and 4th Cape Verde. Sorry, just open the window. And then, Spain are just a strong side on paper and have got some experience. Uruguay again, they had Luis Suarez is now not in the team. He's retired, but they've still got a quality team on paper, and I think they'll win quite comfortably, or not win quite comfortably, just edge out Saudi Arabia. Group I, strong for a bloody reason. This is a group of death, and I'm very sorry to Iraq for qualifying in that group. Because obviously they're happy to be in the World Cup, but it's I don't think they have a chance of getting a point. So you've got France, Senegal, Norway, and Iraq. So France qualified as winners of Group D in UEFA qualification. They are ranked first in the world. They have won the 2018 edition in Russia and made it to the final of the 2022 edition in Qatar in the last two tournaments. Key players include Kylian Mbappe, Eduardo Camavinga, and Aurelien Tchouameni of Real Madrid, current Ballon d'Or holder Ousmane Dembele of PSG, Bradley Barcola and Desiree Doué of also of PSG, and Antoine Griezmann of Atletico Madrid, who I think he may be moving to an American team. I don't remember which one it was in the summer. And their biggest miss currently is Hugo Ekitike of Liverpool, who sustained an Achilles injury against PSG, meaning he will miss the tournament. And you have Norway, who returned for the first time in 28 years, qualified as winners of Group I in UEFA qualification. They are ranked 31st in the world, and their key players include Erling Haaland of Manchester City, Martin Odegaard of Arsenal, Alexander Sørloth of Atletico Madrid, and Antonio Nusa of RB Leipzig. You have Senegal, who qualified as winners of Group B in CAF qualification, ranks 14th in the world, and their key players include Sadio Mane of Al Nassr, Ismaila Sarr of Crystal Palace, and Iliman Ndiaye of Everton. Lastly, you have Iraq, qualified as intercontinental playoff winners, beating Bolivia in the final. They are ranked 57th in the world, and their most notable player is Zidane Iqbal of FC Utrecht, who came through the academy at Manchester United. So that's for that group. It's going to be tight between these three, to be honest. I'm going to give it to France. They are the world's best team right now. They have got a lot of experience, obviously not just experience, but winning experience. And it is Didier Deschamps' last tournament with them. So obviously they'll be motivated to give him a huge send-off and go on and win the tournament. Then I'll give it to Norway. Obviously they're returning. They'll want to have a good tournament. So, and Erling Haaland is getting into a World Cup really nice, because I remember seeing a video posted, I think, by Sky Sports of Haaland on his own during the 2022 edition when all his teammates had gone off to it. So it'll be nice for him to be in that. And then Senegal and naturally Iraq will drop out. I think Senegal get 3 points against Iraq. In my other prediction, I remember I put Senegal through as a best third place team, but when we get to that stage, I'm gonna have a think, because it's gonna be tough. Because Senegal, I don't think they're gonna get points off France. They might against Norway, and they probably will beat Iraq, but I don't know. It's gonna be really tight because they might take a battering off France. Next up, we have Group J, where the reigning champions are. You have Argentina, Austria, Algeria, and then another debutant in Jordan. So Argentina qualified as winners of CONMEBOL qualification, ranked third in the world, and the reigning champions of the World Cup, where they beat France in the final of the 2022 edition in Qatar. Key players include their captain and arguably the greatest player of all time, Lionel Messi, who now plays for Inter Miami, as well as Julian Alvarez of Atletico Madrid, Emiliano Martinez of Aston Villa, Alexis McAllister of Liverpool, and the young and up-and-coming Franco Mastantuono of Real Madrid. You have Algeria, qualified as winners of CAF Group G, ranked 28th in the world. Key players include Riyad Mahrez of Al Ahly, Ryan Aït-Nouri of Manchester City, Mohamed Amoura of Wolfsburg, and Lucas Zidane of Granada, who is the son of former Ballon d'Or winner and football legend Zinedine Zidane. You have Austria, who qualified as winners of UEFA Group H, ranked 24th in the world. Key players include Konrad Laimer of Bayern Munich, Xaver Schlager of RB Leipzig, David Alaba of Real Madrid, and Carney Chukwuemeka of Borussia Dortmund, who recently changed nationality to Austria from England. And then lastly, you have Jordan, qualified as winners of Group H in AFC, ranked 63rd in the world, and their key players include Ishan Haddad of Jordanian club Al Hussein, and their captain Musa Al-Tamari of Rennes. So naturally, I will put Argentina first. Between Austria and Algeria, I'll put Algeria, then Austria, and unfortunately I think Jordan get knocked out. But Argentina, I think, could go far in this tournament, and as we go down to the knockouts, we'll see. But as you can see, also, it's starting to fill in where each team goes, and we've already got a couple of semi-finals, round of 32 games to predict, so that'll be nice. I mean, I've just spotted Brazil Netherlands. That's a big game. Next up, Group K. So you've got Portugal, Ronaldo's group as well. He'll be motivated. He'll be gunning to get an. Confirmed this is his last World Cup, because I think the next one he'll be like 44. So he'll obviously want to get a good tournament and hopefully win one. I mean, I don't know how many goals he got, but he could possibly break the record for the most across World Cups, because it's held by Miroslav Klose with 16. So he will be going for that, as will be like Messi and even Mbappe. So Group K, Portugal qualified as winners of UEFA Group F, ranked 5th in the world, and their most recent major achievements include winning the 2025 UEFA Nations League, beating Spain in the final on penalties, and winning the 2016 edition of the European Championships, beating France in the final in extra time. Their key players include Cristiano Ronaldo, gunning for another major trophy with his country, as well as Bruno Fernandes of Manchester United, who is the best player in the Premier League currently this season. I mean, yeah, by country mile, he's nearly got the assist record. So, PSG midfield duo Vitinha and João Neves, plus the left-back colleague Nuno Mendes, also plays for PSG, and the departing captain of Manchester City, Bernardo Silva. But like those four midfield options, Vitinha, João Neves, Bernardo Silva, and Bruno Fernandes, that's like probably the best midfield in the world for a country right now. Spain may be close as well. Then you have Colombia, qualified as third place in CONMEBOL qualification, ranked 13th in the world. Key players include Luis Diaz of Bayern Munich, who has been having a stellar season, as well as Daniel Munoz of Crystal Palace and James Rodriguez of Minnesota United, who has one of the most iconic World Cup goals with a tremendous volley in the 2014 edition. You have Uzbekistan, who qualified as third round Group A winners, ranked 50th in the world, and their key players include Abdulkadir Kusanov of Manchester City, and their captain Eldor Shomurodov of Istanbul Başakşehir. I think I've got that right. I googled the pronunciation on Istanbul Başakşehir. I don't know. I'm not going to say it anymore in case I get it wrong. And lastly, you have DR Congo, or Democratic Republic of Congo, qualified as intercontinental playoff winners, beating Jamaica in the final, ranked 46th in the world, and their key players include Yohan Wissa of Newcastle United, Axel Tuanzebe of Burnley, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka of West Ham United. So, penultimate group. I put Colombia first in the last one, but I think I've had a rethink, and Portugal's going to go first, because the midfield quadruple O, or whatever it's called, that they've got is sensational, and like players like Bruno Fernandes have picked up form, and they've got a few other starlets like Rafael Leao, although I think he's been struggling a bit. But they have third place Ballon d'Or contender Vitinha. He came third in the last one, and he's so good, and they've probably got the best left back in the world, Nuno Mendes, and they've got other experienced players. Colombia second, they've got one of the world's best players as well, Luis Diaz. He's been sensational for Bayern Munich, and I miss him at Liverpool. Between these two, I'm going to give it to Congo, and Uzbekistan drop out, but I don't know if I'll put Congo through as a third place team, because they have got a few good stars in the Premier League, but that group's tough, and I don't think they can get points off them, and I don't know. I don't know if they'll beat Uzbekistan. They might even draw. And lastly, it's England's group, obviously, with Croatia, Panama, and Ghana. Croatia weren't in their last group, I don't think, in the 2018 one. I know Panama was. I don't know if Croatia. I don't think Croatia might have been. I do know they played them in the semi-finals though, and then Ghana as well. So England qualified as winners of UEFA Group K, ranked 4th in the world. They've made it to the last two European Championship finals, losing to Italy and Spain. Their key players include Harry Kane of Bayern Munich, Jude Bellingham of Real Madrid, Cole Palmer of Chelsea, Jordan Pickford of Everton, as well as young players like Kobbie Mainoo of Manchester United, Adam Wharton of Crystal Palace, and Newcastle fullback duo Tino Livramento and Lewis Hull. You have Panama, qualified as third round Group A winners, ranked 33rd in the world, and they're captained by Anibal Godoy, who plays for San Diego FC. You have Croatia, who qualified as winners of UEFA Group L, ranked 11th in the world. They have come second and third place in the last two World Cups and beat England in the semi-finals in 2018. And their key players include former Ballon d'Or winner Luka Modric of AC Milan, as well as Josko Gvardiol and Mateo Kovacic of Manchester City. And lastly, you have Ghana, qualified as winners of CAF Group I, ranked 74th in the world. Key players include Mohamed Kudus of Tottenham, although he may be injured for the tournament, but I'm not sure, Antoine Semenyo of Manchester City, and Kamaldeen Sulemana of Atalanta. And that's all my notes on the groups. So now I'm just going to predict the last group, and then from there we just go with the head-to-heads and see who I think is a stronger team. So between these two, and I did it in the last prediction, I'm going to stick by it, Croatia first, then England. Croatia, they're ranked 4 places lower by FIFA, but I just think like the fact they've made second and third place in the last two World Cups is insane. And I know England were managed by Gareth Southgate in the last World Cup, but I just don't. I think England has a very good squad on paper, and I think they will naturally get 6 points. But I think Croatia just like edged them out like 1-0 to get 9 and to top it. And then I think Ghana and then Panama, because I want an underdog story again. Like if you look at the teams I've put bottom, it's naturally just the obvious option. It's like the teams in the world not much a World Cup experience, like Haiti. Well, I will say no because they've not got any World Cup experience because the last time they played was 52 years ago. So you got like Haiti and Curacao, Iraq, Cape Verde. I'd love to see them go through, and I hope they do. But in my prediction, I just don't see them getting past. Right. Now, it's the proper stuff. It's the third place finishers as to so who I think gets through. So starting off, I'm going to look at the groups properly. And I think the first couple I will put through, I've got the belief that Senegal can probably get 4 or 5 against Iraq. So I'll put Senegal through. Sweden, I also think go through. They could possibly nab something off Japan. I don't know. Tunisia, again, they could get a few goals against. I think this is the thing. The teams like I've got in third place like Ivory Coast, Sweden, Senegal, and like Saudi Arabia as well, for example, will go and see this team in fourth, or at least obviously if they do, and we'll try and like farm goals against them, which is why I'm also going to put the Ivory Coast through, and I'm also going to put Saudi Arabia through. Scotland, tight one. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put Scotland in third place. I've made a prediction before, and I think I've said that Scotland get through as a third place team. Oh God, I'm thinking of it. I'm going to go kind of quiet-ish, just this bit. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I've got 3 more. Sorry, not 3 more. Yeah, 3 more. This is tight. This is interesting. Let's have Bosnia's group. Bosnia I'm going to put as well. I think Bosnia have a chance. Czech Republic, Group A. Czech Republic again, I think could nap something. I'll get Czech Republic. And the last one between Paraguay, Iran, Austria, Congo, and Ghana. Let me have a look at the 5 groups. Paraguay's in Group D. That's interesting. Iran was Iran there. Oh God, where's Iran gone? I've lost Iran. Where's Iran? There's Iran. Austria's there, Congo's there, and Ghana's there. I think between these 5, I'm going to give it to. I think, you know what, I'm going to judge it based off the thing I mean, and I don't have any disrespect to the team, but I'm going to judge it based off the team that comes in 4th place in their groups. So Paraguay is Australia. That's quite an evenly matched game. Iran is New Zealand, again evenly matched. Austria is Jordan. Congo is Uzbekistan, and Ghana's Panama. I'm going to give it to Austria.
It is a new day.
I had a couple of technical difficulties trying to record the knockouts, so I'm back. I've reset it and everything to make sure we've got it accurate. Obviously, this is nothing new information to you, but this is exactly how it was. So now we're on to the knockouts. As you can see, we've got all the round of 32 matches, and bloody hell, there's a lot of them to predict. So I'm going to be more consolidating. So there'll be a lot of like thinking time, and I'll probably be quiet a lot of the time to think. But we'll just get straight into the knockouts. So the round of 32, starting off with South Korea versus Canada. Quite an evenly matched game, I'd say. Canada on home turf, but South Korea a very strong side. So between those two, I don't know who I'd give it to. That's a really, really evenly matched game. I think I might leave that game till the end and come back to it. Moving on to Germany, I'll leave that one, come back. There's a lot of games that I'll probably come back to. And I've also just spied, you might have seen match 76. That is a huge clash. But moving on, Scotland's match. I am wearing a Scotland kit right now while recording this. Drop in the comments if you can guess who I've got on the back. I would love to say Scotland go through, but after seeing what happened at Euro 2024, I'm going to have to put Germany. Just kidding, it's Scotland. I'm not putting Scotland through in that game. Moving on to Japan v Morocco. That's again a very tight game. Like Morocco Japan's always considered as a dark horse. Morocco could be considered as a dark horse after the recent like Afcon rival, sorry, possible win, and just like coming fourth in the last World Cup. And I will give the edge to Morocco over that. Japan could have gone further, but Morocco's a really tough game. Moving on to this game, a massive clash between these two, between the Brazil and the Netherlands. Both teams have very strong, what's it called? Like they're very well rounded. Like Netherlands, Van Dijk. Brazil's got Marquinhos. Both have got good goalkeepers. Both have got good midfielders. Both have got very good attacks. But I'm gonna give the edge to Brazil again, just because they've got that they've got a high, really really good manager. Obviously, no disrespect to Ronald Koeman, and I think on paper they are stronger. And as their manager's like a serial winner with Real Madrid, Carlo Ancelotti. Moving on to France v Sweden, just gonna give it straight to France. They are such a strong side on paper, and there is no department in the whole team where they have a weak link, and that attack is probably the most deadly in the world. Like the options they've got, like Mbappe, Barcola, Doué, Dembele. Oh God, who else is there? Cherki, Ekitike if he was available, but he's injured, and yeah, the list just goes on. And I think they've probably even got a few up and coming talents and like stuff. I think they've got Mayulu, but I believe he might be going to DR Congo. But it is a very tight. Not Sweden, no disrespect, they've got some good attacking options as well, but France is just like really hard to defeat. Moving on to Ecuador versus Norway, again a really really interesting evenly matched clash. Like even like if you look at them, like I've not done South Korea Canada just yet, but a lot of these games, even like Morocco Japan and stuff, they're really big games in terms like yes they don't have like big teams like against each other like the Brazil v the Netherlands, but Japan Morocco are two like dark horses, like Ecuador Norway as well, Croatia Senegal. Any other games? Just having a look at also the other ones. You got like even Portugal, Ivory Coast as well, and yeah, Colombia, England too possibly. So between Ecuador and Norway, I think, that's a really tough game to predict because both have got like good players with good experience, like Ecuador Caicedo and Pacho, and possibly Estupinian, and Norway have like Haaland, Odegaard, Nusa, but I think based off more World Cup experience and even things like the climate come into it, like Norway is obviously a Nordic country and it's got like a really really cold climate compared to Ecuador, South America, obviously near America, hot climate, and I'm gonna just give the edge to Ecuador. I think Ecuador are quite underrated again, another dark horse, and I quite like Ecuador. Moving on to Mexico Saudi Arabia. Again, another very evenly matched game, but I'll give it the edge to the hosts, Mexico. They're playing in their home country. They've got a good edge there. Saudi Arabia, they're quite weak, and they're not the strong team in the world. And Mexico have quite a few good experienced players going to the tournament, so I'll put Mexico. Moving on to Croatia Senegal, a really tough game to predict. I think I'm going to leave that one just for now because I think both these teams could go far. And so if Senegal do well enough to get out of that group with France and Norway, they should be really proud of themselves. And Croatia, I think I had Croatia topping that group. So if England had topped it, they would have played Senegal. And I think they did actually in the last World Cup and they won 3-0. But if Croatia was to have come second, who came? Croatia, who's England playing? And Croatia would have played Colombia. So that would have been quite a good game as well. But I'll leave Croatia, Senegal for now, and add that to the list of teams to predict first between South Korea and Canada. Because bearing in mind, all these games also come down to penalties as well, so and extra time too. So there's a lot of factors to predict, and it's like also which teams can go on for the longest time and keep playing. Moving on to Turkey v Bosnia, I'm gonna give it to Turkey because Turkey are quite a strong team on paper. Quite underrated in my opinion, and Bosnia, they haven't. This is only their second World Cup appearance, and they've got I think quite a bit of an old squad. Or when I say old squad, I mean I think the only player I can think of is Edin Dzeko, who's 40. So I'm gonna give it to Turkey, and Turkey have quite a balanced team. That midfield of like Kokcu, Çalhanoğlu, Güler, and yeah, they've got a very very strong team on paper, and I think even the Turkish sides in the Champions League have done quite well this season. Like Galatasaray has had quite a few good performances, so I'll give the edge to Turkey. Moving on to Egypt versus Czech Republic. Egypt, Czech Republic. I'm going to give it to Egypt. I think they, in my opinion, I think I'm doing it. I'm not obviously just doing it based off like the match. I'm doing it obviously based off how evenly this match started and if they were to happen, who I'd predict. But also I'm kind of basing it off how I've ranked the teams to qualify, and I've got like Egypt finishing top and Czech Republic finishing third in their groups. And I think Egypt is a strong team on paper. I think they're the record AFCON winners. I think they've won 8. I don't know if any team's won more, but I know they've won 8. And they've got like Mo Salah's obviously a fantastic player. They've got Omar Marmoush and quite a few good young players that are coming up. So I think Egypt just outmuscled Czech Republic. Possibly a game that goes to extra time. Again, a couple of these games, like I think Mexico, Saudi Arabia could go to extra time. Ecuador, Norway, Brazil, Netherlands probably will go to penalties. Morocco, Japan as well. But I think these are the teams that will probably just like have more energy on the day. And Czech Republic also only qualified by playoffs, although in respect to them they knocked out Denmark, who are the second highest team I think not going to the World Cup behind Italy. So yeah, because Denmark are ranked 20th. So anyway, yeah, Czech Republic go out to Egypt. Moving on, another a game I remember happened in the past, Colombia versus England. This happened in the 2018 World Cup and it went to penalties and England won, and I think it was one of their first penalty shootout triumphs. Colombia was a very different team back then, or when I say very different, I mean it's quite similar, but a few players have retired, a few players have joined the team. Obviously, I highlighted before Luis Diaz, Daniel Munoz, I think David Ospina. Colombia is a team that should not be underestimated. But I will give it to England because their team has got a really good balance of experience and youth and talent. So you've like experience of Harry Kane, of Jordan Pickford, probably Jordan Henderson, he might get called up. And in the youth of like James Garner, Lewis Hall, Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden possibly, even Saka too. So Saka and Foden, for example, and Bellingham are examples of teams that are players that are young but have so much experience and maturity at such like a young age in football, like they're like 20, 24 and stuff like that. So I'll give it to England, and they have a vast amount of experience. Colombia probably will put up a fight, and to be honest, I can see that going to extra time, but I think on the day England just have a bit more. Moving on to Spain v Algeria. Algeria could make it very difficult for Spain, but on the day I think Spain are just way too strong for Algeria. Algeria are a team that should not be underestimated as well, like Colombia, but they are just Spain are just too talented and too strong, and they were the world's best team for quite a while. Obviously, France have taken that now, but yeah, I can see Spain like possibly scoring 4 against Algeria, to be honest. Moving on to Switzerland v Austria, a really quite evenly matched game, but I'll give it to Switzerland. I think more experienced. They know how to handle the big games and the knockout games. Austria are a good side, but Switzerland I think will be too strong for them. Moving on to Argentina v Uruguay. Again, I'm going to give it to Argentina. They are the reigning champions. They will be defending their title strongly. Uruguay has a decent side and team, and they should not be disrespected. And they have got like a lot of experience in the ranks, but Argentina are a very, very, very good side and probably will go really far in the tournament. Coming up on our last two, Portugal v Ivory Coast. I'm going to give it to Portugal. Again, Ivory Coast could make it really difficult for Portugal, and there's a very good chance they could win it. If they can send it to penalties, that's obviously another way they can win it. Portugal, they have got one of their best teams in recent times. Like that midfield, I'm astonished at the many midfield options they've got. Like Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, João Neves, Vitinha. I don't know if there's probably more there's more experienced midfield options as well, and they've got the leader in Cristiano Ronaldo. So Portugal to go through, and Ronaldo obviously will be incredibly motivated to win his first World Cup, and I think they've confirmed actually it is his last World Cup, so he'll want to go out on a high. Lastly, before I go back to those 2 games I left, is the USA v Belgium, and I'm going to give it to Belgium. They may have wasted their golden generation, and I did predict them to come second in their group, But I also predicted the USA to come in second in the group. So that's quite an evenly matched game. But yeah, the USA's. I mean, they're the host nation, but they're quite they're a difficult team to play, and I think they played the Netherlands and made it a bit awkward for them. But Belgium, or I don't actually remember. I think they might have got thrashed. But yeah, Belgium's got a strong side. They've got a lot of experience, and they know what it's like to play on the biggest stage. So I'll give it to Belgium. Right, I'm gonna go quickly back and predict these last two games. So if I just, I'll take a quick look. So it's gonna be winner of match 73 plays Morocco. So the winner of South Korea Canada plays Morocco, and the winner of match match 80. So the winner of Croatia Senegal. So South Korea Canada, I'm going to give it to South Korea. More experience. They got to the round of 16 last time. Obviously, this is the stage they would have got. Right, hang on. So this is going to be confusing to explain. They would have got to the round of 16, the round of 32 last time if it had been the big format, but it wasn't. So yeah, they just advanced from the group last time. That's the simplest way to put it. So South Korea to go through, they've got a really good team. Son's obviously full of experience. At the back, they've got Kim and Jae. In the midfield, they've got good options. And yeah, I can see South Korea possibly even being considered a dark horse in a way. And then Croatia, Senegal, I'm going to have to give it to Croatia. Like, they have come second and third in the last two World Cups. And for a country that I think is actually one of the top 10 smallest countries at the World Cup this year, that's like a staggering achievement. So Croatia, just their World Cup experience to go through, it might give you a game that goes to penalties, because Senegal is also a team that should not be underestimated. But if you look at some of the big teams that we've lost, like realistically, the highest ranked one there is the Netherlands. Like Norway and Senegal has gone out, and Colombia too, and like Ivory Coast and Uruguay and Algeria. So yeah, I think this World Cup could be really, really exciting. And I just point out, is France? Who did France have in the first game? Sweden, and they've got Germany. Like that, the game, every single round in the knockouts is going to have a huge game. Like first we had Brazil, Netherlands, and now we're going to have, and even things like Colombia, England, and Portugal, Ivory Coast, and stuff like that. Those are big games. Now we've got Germany, France to start off the round of 16. So between those two, Germany's not had a great World Cup experience in the last two. They've been grouped in the last two World Cups. So for that reason, I'm going to give it to France. They have won a World Cup in the last two editions, and they came second. They came top two in the last two editions. And as I said, the attack is just ridiculous. And if it goes to extra time, they've got a lot of good options. And if it goes to penalties, they have a fantastic array of penalty takers. So France is just perfect in every department, as I've reiterated. Moving on to South Korea, Morocco. I think, unfortunately, I know I took ages to predict South Korea's clash against Canada, but I think this is when it immediately comes to an end. I mean, how many days is that? Yeah, nah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, Morocco will beat South Korea because they've got the experience to do it. They've got the confidence to do it. They've got the ability to do it. I don't know what's happened to Morocco, but since the 2022 edition, in the last 4 years, they've just become the best African side in the world. And yeah, Morocco to win it. As simple as that. South Korea are a strong side, but Morocco are also just even stronger. End of. So Morocco and France so far to go through. Moving on to Brazil, Ecuador. I will give it to Brazil. I love Ecuador, and I really, really enjoy, like their football and some of their players. But Brazil, as I said, just serial winners. They're the 5 times champions. They've got a serial winning manager in Carlo Ancelotti. They've got plenty of players with like Champions League, Premier League experience that can bring some South American flair to the game. And yeah, Brazil will go through, and they're in like a good climate. Like, they're not like in a cold country, and they play in like hot countries. They play in a hot country. That's not the right wording. Their climate, the country's climate is hot, so they're used to like samba football style, and they play on the beach a lot. So yeah, I think Brazil just has a lot to offer essentially, and I'm gonna put Brazil through. Moving on to Mexico v Croatia. Croatia to go through. Again, just a strong side on paper. Like Brazil, France, Morocco, and Croatia already. That's a strong final 4 of 8. So this is going to be a really thing. And then I've just clocked a couple of the big matches. The last 4. We've got England versus Spain as the next match for the World Cup. And I think I'm going to give it to Spain. England, I thought, would make it further. But if they get a really unlucky run like that, Spain obviously beat them in the Euros final, and Spain will beat them again. To be honest, England can do something in that game because obviously they were under the management of Gareth Southgate in the last one, and they might surprise me, but I just see Thomas Tuchel struggling to get anything out of the game. Or well, no, I know he won't. He won't make you get anything. He'll try and get something out of the game, and he might get a goal. But I think I can see Spain like getting an early goal maybe, and then just holding on. So I would put Spain through. Moving on to Turkey v Egypt, that's a very interesting match. That's really evenly matched. Turkey Egypt is a very, very interesting match to predict. Again, let me know in these comments, you guys, if you've got any from these matches, if I made any mistakes, and if you think, what the hell was I thinking? Please let me know, because I'd be interested to know your opinions. Like, oh, I would have put Egypt through, or I would have put Turkey through. From these two, I don't know who's really got more World Cup experience, but I'm going to go with Turkey. This is definitely a game that goes to penalties, and I can just see Turkey winning because I think they have a very good, strong, but more balanced side than Egypt. Like Egypt obviously have a couple of big stars like Marmoush Salah, but Turkey's got a more well-rounded team. I think they've done well in previous World Cups, and Egypt I think possibly has less experience than them. Moving on to Argentina-Belgium, normally I think that would be quite a close game to predict, but I'm still going to stick Argentina through. It might be a tight 2-1 win for Argentina, but they're just the stronger side on paper, and they're the reigning champions. They'll be defending their title strongly, and they will want to maintain their title. So Argentina to go through. And lastly, Switzerland-Portugal. This game happened in a World Cup, I think, in the 2022 group stage. I think Portugal won it, but I'm not sure. No, I think they did actually. I think I'm getting mixed up with the Morocco game that they lost. So from that, I have to give it to Portugal. Switzerland are a really, really good side, and I think they could make it to the quarterfinals if they can get a good run. But in that clash, just Portugal will be tenacious and will be motivated to get the result. And Ronaldo's obviously going to be really determined to get this World Cup. So I can see Portugal going far and advancing. Right, this is the quarterfinals we've got. There's I feel like the standout team that's made it this far is Turkey. No disrespect, because if you look at these teams, a lot of them have made it. I think, well, to be fair, actually, I think Turkey came third in one of the last World Cup appearance, which was, oh god, I'm not going to actually try the name of the year because I can't remember. But every team that we've got here has actually made it to the quarters and the semis and possibly even the final. If you look at we've had France in the final before, Croatia have been in the final before, Brazil's obviously won 5 of them, Spain have been in the final, Portugal been in the final, won it I think, and Argentina are the reigning champions. And I've also just got Argentina-Portugal's a quarter-final match. I would have hoped that be a semi-final. But from France v Morocco, that happened in the quarterfinals and France prevailed. Not quarterfinals. That happened in the last World Cup and France prevailed, and I think they will prevail again. Just they're like a dynasty team. I'm really, really excited to watch them, and yeah, no, I can't. It's really hard to go against France. They're just a strong side. Morocco, I would have loved to see them make it to the semi-finals again, but unfortunately, this is where Africa's run ends in the World Cup as the last team gets through. They are the furthest team I've predicted to make it through. If I look back quickly, Egypt dropped out in the round of 16. Ivory Coast, Algeria, and that's it. Yeah, they dropped out there. And then did I have anyone else dropping out? Congo dropped out there, and Ghana dropped out there, and Cape Verde was there, and Tunisia was there, and so was South Africa. So yeah, just wanted to see how the African sides did in my prediction. But yeah, Morocco out in quarterfinals, but a valiant effort again, and incredible that they made it to the quarterfinals again. So France is our first semi-finalist. And then move on to Spain v Turkey. Turkey again, been a valiant effort. It's been great to see them. I think it'd be great to see them go this far, but naturally, I feel like this pick is Spain. I don't know how many. I know I've not predicted many upsets in this World Cup, but it's there's some upsets. Like England could be beating Spain could be considered an upset. Belgium beating Argentina can be considered an upset. And there's definitely a few games, but I just feel like the natural options are Portugal over Switzerland, stuff like that. And Spain naturally are a strong side on paper and could beat Turkey. But I think I've clocked the next game, and I'm going to go for an upset. I think Croatia to beat Brazil. They've made it to the semi-finals before. They beat Brazil on penalties in the last World Cup, and Brazil are a really, really strong side now again. But Croatia just have done so well and have outperformed what many people's expectations in the last two World Cups to make it this far, and I think they can do it again. I think they can go all the way to the semis and possibly all the way to the final. So let's find out who their opponent will be. Argentina v Portugal in the last quarter final. So one of Messi or Ronaldo will not end up with a World Cup title. If in Messi's case, it will not end up with a second World Cup title. In Ronaldo's case, he might not end up with a title at all. From that team, those two teams, basing it off what they look like and how they've performed recently, I have decided that the team that will go through is... I don't know why I'm creating drama, it's a prediction video. I'm going to give it to Portugal, I think. I know that may seem a bit of an upset, but I think Portugal are really even stronger than they were before in the last World Cup. And they have, I think, obviously Messi's won a Copa America, I think, in that time, and Ronaldo's won a Nations League, so it's like 1-1 in terms of trophies. But I just think Portugal have a very, very strong side, and have even stronger since their last World Cup when they lost to Morocco. They've got a lot of experience. They did really good in the Euros, I think. I can't remember who they lost to, actually. I think it was France, yeah. So they've had a lot of time to rethink and refocus, and I don't know what it is, but I see Portugal going to the semis. So heartbreak for Messi in the World Cup. If Neymar makes it, heartbreak for him. And yeah, so our final four for my predictions are France, Spain, Croatia and Portugal. That may seem controversial that Messi's not here and that England aren't here, and to me that Scotland aren't here, but yeah, I'm gonna have to think. So France v Spain is literally first v second in the FIFA rankings right now. France in first, Spain in second. Spain have been in first. I think France have been in second as well. So between these two, I don't know. I just see Spain winning. I know France are the highest ranked side, and I know that they arguably have a stronger attack on paper and a stronger midfield on paper and a stronger defence on paper. But Spain obviously won the Euros. I think Spain beat them, and they've obviously shown they can do it once before in a major tournament, and I just see them doing it again. So I'm going to give the edge to Spain to get to the final, and it leads to this matchup. It'll be Spain versus one of Croatia or Portugal. So I think the winner of this game will go to the final. Okay, I'm not going to create drama. I need to think, because Croatia have obviously gone to the final before, and they beat a big team, and they beat England, and they've played another big team in France, and was it France in the last one? I think, yeah, and they lost. So they've had like a mixed bag in the semi-finals, and unfortunately, I think they will lose again, and Ronaldo goes all the way to the World Cup final. I know it's the fairy tale like story, oh, Messi gets a World Cup, so Ronaldo gets one, but I genuinely think Portugal have a chance of winning the World Cup, and just are a very, very, very good chance of winning it. And they should not be disrespected. Like we've obviously, Ronaldo's obviously wanting to win everything that Messi's won, and he wants to be the best in the world. So and he'll be motivated to win the tournament in his last year, or his last World Cup for Portugal. So the World Cup final, in my opinion, will be Spain versus Portugal. And who do I see winning it? Well, I know I just made this whole speech about Ronaldo winning his World Cup in his last Portugal World Cup, but I think I have to give it to Spain, because I think I'm not gonna click on it just yet, because I think it comes up goes off this. But the reason I pick Spain, I can see I don't know what it is, but I can see Ronaldo going all the way to the final. But I can unfortunately just see that image of the Euros in 2004. I think it was, yeah. Again, Euro 2004. I think it was Euro 2000. Sorry, I might have. I don't know which one. I know it sounds really bad. I'll put it in at the end of the video, or not in the video. I'll put it in which one it was. But I just remember that picture of him crying as a 17-year-old or whatever age he was, or as a teenager, when they lost to Greece in the final of the Euros. And I don't know what it is, but I just see it happening again. And if we get this clash in the World Cup final, Spain won the Euros against England. And then, I mean, Portugal beat them in the Nations League. And that tournament is sort of considered a bit irrelevant, to be honest. But Spain, I think, my prediction is that Spain, right, we will go all the way back to the start of my predictions to see what we'd got. So Spain topped the group with Uruguay, Cape Verde, and Saudi Arabia. They then, where have we gone? Where's Spain gone? Spain to beat Algeria in the round of 32. Spain to beat England in the round of 16. To beat Turkey in the quarterfinals. To beat France in the semi-finals. And the World Cup winner in 2026 will be Spain beating Portugal in the final. So that is it. So, it doesn't go off it. But if you look at what the Telegraph says, 23% of players also predicted Spain to win. England, round of 16, 17% think that. Portugal does have a 14% chance of winning it, so does France. But yeah, my predicted winner of the World Cup is Spain. My predicted second place is Portugal. It doesn't give me a third place playoff. Between France and Croatia, I'll give it to France. Croatia fourth. And then, as I said, England to go all the way to the round of 16. And Scotland to go to the round of 32 and go out. But yeah, that's my predictions. I think this video format's been a bit better than the one I did in the PowerPoint. I know I stuttered a little bit more after the group stages when I had all my notes, but it's more because there's a lot of thinking to do, like considering, who do I think in this clash would be? Because, I can't predict it beforehand and think, right, now I need to think about these clashes. I want it to be a bit unscripted as well. But yeah, Spain to win the World Cup. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know who you think is going to win the World Cup, how far you think your country's going to be going the tournament, if your country's in the tournament. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.